Hey there everyone, welcome back to another Game Vault video. As always, I'm Captain Beefy with the Game Vault. We're going to talk a little bit about Ubisoft today, their mentorship program developed at Ubisoft, and how it practices discriminatory, it's very discriminatory. And this is probably why Ubisoft is sucking so badly lately. So let's cue the music and we'll get right to it. Alright, so it says here Ubisoft Mentorship Program, developed at Ubisoft, discriminates against males based on their sex. Now, on the official Ubisoft website, the developer says, at Ubisoft, we want to build the most creative, diverse, and inclusive teams, and that's exactly what Developed at Ubisoft is all about, empowering and supporting underrepresented genders. Okay, considering there's only two genders, why couldn't you just say supporting women? You know what I mean? You have to say supporting undersupported. Oh. I'm sorry. I can see where this is going. This is what cracks me up here, empowering underrepresented genders. So, with all of these fake genders out there, these non-binary people, and all these other mentally ill people that consider themselves these interesting and weird, unique genders, there's a reason they're underrepresented, because they're made up. Okay? Could I go to Ubisoft and say, hey, I'd like to work for you. I am a space queer elf dwarf time traveling Sith Lord? I mean, that's my gender, right? You may laugh at that, but there are some people who are pretty close to that level of ridiculousness when they refer to themselves, right? So, yeah, my pronouns are Darth and later, whatever. But anyway, it clearly states afterward, the program provides mentorship opportunities for women and non-binary individuals, students or fresh graduates with less than 2 years of experience, interested in video games to develop their skill set in game design and programming. We want to empower you to learn, grow, and become the best developer you can be. This program is open to candidates from the United States of America, which one would assume it has to follow U.S. law, which prohibits discrimination based on sex, something Ubisoft is clearly doing with this mentorship program. And they're right, this isn't fair. This isn't fair to anybody, and I'm not crying over it, right? I mean, this isn't affecting me personally, other than the fact that Ubisoft sucks and their games are getting worse and worse. And now you see why their games are worse, okay? And now you understand a different level of DEI. You may laugh and say, oh, so what? They put pronouns in the game. Oh, so what? It's body A and body B instead of male and female. These are little things. These are minor things. But here's the core of DEI and what the real problem is and where the real cancer is. And it's not on screen, it's behind the scenes. It's hiring practices like this. When you end up with a team of developers that's a whole bunch of 30-year-old women, okay, and a few queers and non-binary weirdos thrown into the mix, that's why you get games that are so shitty, okay? That's why you get games that aren't fun anymore, that aren't focused on being great and fun and great action and combat and all that. No, every game has to have romance options in there, and not only romance options, but gay romance options, and you have to be able to create a character that looks like a big burly man, but then has a shaved vagina, or looks like a pretty gorgeous woman, but then has a big uncut wanker. What is going on, guys? This is why we have this garbage in games, and it needs to go. And these people need to go. You need to start doing some regular hiring practices. Just get men back in there. Men built shit. Men created stuff. Men have done things since the dawn of time, and we've done it right, and we work with a logic behind our things. You say, oh, you want something great? We'll give you something great. Not, well, I think we're going to change this around and that around and blah, blah, blah. There's a funny thing. Like, my father once told me this many, many years ago. And he says the difference between men and women is this. Is you ask a man and he'll say, Well, she's never happy, right? When referring to his woman. He asked the woman, and she's like, well, there's always room for improvement. So essentially, it's the same thing, where women can't just be happy. They always have to look for more or something else that isn't there. And if there's not a problem, they'll make one up half the time. Now, this isn't all women, okay? I'm not going to say it's all women because I do know women that aren't like this. And kudos to them. They're very few and far between. But if you think about it, if you look around your workplace, you look around your sisters, your mother, your cousins, whatever, your friends, you can't tell me you don't see this a lot in women, right? Just making up problems where there's none exist because, I don't know, attention, or they just want some drama in their life. They're bored. Just sitting around bored one day, like, I think he's cheating on me. And then they go, hey, you're cheating on me, aren't you? And the guy who gets blindsided by this question who's doing another one, no, I'm not cheating on you. Why would you say something like that? That's fucked up, And it turns into a fight. And it's just, see, why would you be so angry? Because I was accused of something I'm not doing. If you came up to me and accused me of murder, I'd be pissed. Oh, my God. Anyway, yeah, so that's what Ubisoft is up to these days. If the above introductory paragraph was not enough evidence that Ubisoft is discriminating based on sex for this Develop at Ubisoft program, the company's website makes it clear that one must identify as a woman or a non-binary individual to be eligible for the program. That's amazing. I hope you guys get sued into oblivion because of this, Ubisoft. First off, you're a shit company. You're putting out shit DEI-filled games. Your investors are asking questions about you. Your stock is tanking. I wish you guys nothing but the worst. I hope they have to fire every single bitch that works for you and just take it back to formula and rebuild that company from the ground up. Get rid of that twat Yves Guillemot that's running the whole company. All of them. Get them all out of there. Start something new and make it good. But let's look at this eligibility criteria here. First thing it says, identify as a woman or non-binary, be 18 years or older, currently attend or have graduated in or after spring 2023, have less than 2 years of professional experience, be legally entitled to work in the country where you're applying, apply to only one location, submit an individual entry, and specific to Toronto, yada, 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 yada. As noted by YouTuber Dread Roberts, this program is not new and has been around for at least 4 years. Given a blog post about previous mentees and mentors sharing their experience, states, for the 4th year in a row, the Develop at Ubisoft Mentorship Program helped promising women and non-binary talents shape their dream career in gaming. Over the past months, 90 mentors from 19 Ubisoft studios welcomed 90 mentees, should be mentals, who brought a fresh perspective and new ideas into game design and programming and got to develop their own creative project. Woo-hoo-hoo. So what we're basically doing is bringing in more tourists, not real gamers, just tourists, people that want to use this industry to promote their ideologies, their their worldview on people. They want to be able to force their sexuality on people and make everything gross and weird and depraved, and we're tired of it, man. We're really tired of it. That's why Ubisoft's stock is down. That's why their investors are asking questions. That's why the company is going to suffer, and suffer greatly, when Yasuke's game comes out here in a couple months and it tanks. Star Wars Outlaws already not doing so good. Skull and Bones took a crap. What's that? Defiant X, I think they have a free-to-play game, of 4v4 or whatever. I heard that's not doing so well. And by the time Assassin's Creed Shadows comes out, that's going to tank as well. Now, again, I always say it will do okay because of the name Assassin's Creed and the fact that there is a built-in fan base for it. But, people in the know, they're not going to buy it. And people that have a little fatigue from Assassin's Creed in the last few games, they're going to, the ones that wait for reviews to come out and all that, and honest reviews and honest assessments from not from IGN, not from Kotaku, but from, people on YouTube who are playing. When they hear, these assessments, and not the guys that are paid ahead of that, or that are, brought out to California and all that and shown a good time. No, honest YouTubers, guys that go in and play the game and go, it sucks, or whatever. Yeah, they're not going to buy it. Ironically, Ubisoft's Senior Vice President of Production Technology, Guillemette Picard, who sponsors the program, talked about its importance by citing her own history of male and female mentors. I've had great mentors over the years, men and women who helped me grow and shape my professional experience. Mentorship was and still is a rich and humbling journey. It allowed me to take a step back, challenge myself, seek new perspectives, and build my network. And I believe that it is as enriching for the mentor as it is for the mentee. That's why I'm so enthusiastic about the potential of Develop at Ubisoft to empower women and non-binary individuals who are in the early stages of their professional life in our industry, a space where we are still underrepresented. I've seen pictures of your teams there, Miss whatever your name, Picard, and women are not underrepresented at Ubisoft. In fact, it looks like a taco stand at that place some days when you look at pictures. It's absolutely ridiculous, you know. Now, I'm not going to say women don't have any talents or abilities and all that. Women are great. Women are necessary in society. They serve a great purpose in society. And as role models, they teach, they teach you empathy and things of that nature, right? My mother taught me how to care for other people, how to feel for other people, how to love, that sort of thing. And my father taught me other things, Not that my father didn't love me by any way, shape, or form, but he taught me how to work hard at things, how to set goals, how to prioritize things, this and that and all that, So they both served two different purposes in my life, and I was fortunate to be raised by both parents, and to this day to still have them. I know we have a couple generations of men now that have been raised by women because their fathers are not in the picture. And this crosses, it's a lot more on the lower end of the financial spectrum, the poor and the middle class and all that, than it is the rich, but the rich are a whole different animal anyway. Even in two-parent homes, a lot of times it's other people raising the kids, whether it be, nannies and assistants and stuff like that. Parents don't always have time for their kids, but in the lower end of the financial spectrum, yeah, it's a lot of single moms raising their kids because the fathers aren't around. They're in jail, they walked off, they ran off with another woman, they went out for cigarettes, never came back, whatever. And so we get this. That's why men are like the way they are these days. These last couple of generations, they're so soft, they're so weak. They come across, even the straight ones just seem gay as hell, and it's really weird, So I can't imagine a mentorship program where, well, they don't let men in anyway. They only let non-binary people and women. But you are missing a vital part of society. The ability to have men in there to contribute to a project and to make it great and to make it excellent. Men strive for excellence. Okay, men compete for excellence. It's in our blood. It's in our DNA. Now, I'm not saying women don't, but for the most part, women, it's not the same, Whereas men will congratulate each other. Yeah, sometimes there's some jealousy and all there, but for the most part, it's like, oh, next time, man, I'm going to get you, You beat me today, I'll beat you tomorrow, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Real men, normal men, they're like that. You're competitive and all that, but it doesn't, it's not going to ruin your day to lose something like that. Whereas women are more catty, women are different, they're more sneaky and less trustworthy and stuff like that. And they're not going to compete in the same way. They're more backstabby. And, say what you want about me for saying these things. If you've worked with women, I spent years in the restaurant industry and now I work in healthcare. Both of those industries are predominantly female-led, okay? A lot of females in leadership positions, a lot of female co-workers and all that. And it's always a drama, always a fight, always two of them not talking to each other, and the other two are fighting, and one's ready to sleep with the other one's husband or boyfriend and, tear each other's eyes out and all that. Now, it is better on the level of the hospital than it was in the restaurant. It's a better quality of woman, but there's a lot of that going on still. Not nearly as much as in the restaurant industry. So, I don't know, man. It's, men are more stable, right? you could go into, a man can go into his boss's office, and his boss can, another male, can give him some criticisms. Hey, you've been sliding on your work lately. It's been a little sloppy. I've had to do a lot of corrections on it. Is everything okay at home? Yeah, everything's okay at home. All right. If there's anything you need to talk about, let me know. I just want, I expect better from you. You've given me better in the past. Tell me what you need me to do to help you out, or if you need help or something like that. Just let me know, and, we'll talk about it. We'll get things set straight, okay? All right, thanks. Have a good day. And the guy will go back to his office and go, oh, man. It sucks to be told something like that, right? No one wants to hear that kind of stuff, but he's going to be like, okay, wow. What am I doing wrong? Where am I slipping up here? I feel like crap. I do not want to have this conversation again. So, yeah. Next day he's doubling up, checking his work and all that, making sure everything's straight, and and moving forward, things improve. And then the next time they talk, 6 months later, it's, hell, man, you really turned the ship around. I appreciate it, man. What a great job you've been doing. I knew you had it in you, yada, yada, yada. Nothing. No hard feelings, no nastiness and all that. Whereas women will be like, hey, Sandra, I need you to, you haven't been doing this right lately, and I need you to fix it up, and blah, 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 blah. And they tend to be more condescending, when they talk to you. Whereas guys are straightforward, women tend to be a little more condescending. And this is probably going to get a lot of people pissed off this whole video, but that's just the nature. I mean, I've seen it a million times. And then the woman that's being criticized is going to walk away going, oh man, she is such a bitch. I hate her. She's just picking at me because she doesn't like me. I'm prettier than her, and blah, 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 blah. It just goes on and on and on. And then, sometimes they'll improve. A lot of times they're just going to continue to do the same thing, only make it worse just to spite that person, and then argue about it and fight over it and eventually get fired or quit the job and move on to something else. And that's the nature of women. And laugh if you want about it, because it's true. If you want to hate on me in the comments for it, again, I never say this is all women, okay? This is a gross generalization. But anyone who's worked in female-led business has seen this kind of stuff, okay? Over and over and over again. And I don't say men won't do it, but, it's a lot less. The tilting of the weight here is heavily toward the female side of things. So anyway, Dread Roberts also discovered that this mentorship program appears to be part of something called Project Rise at Ubisoft. Ubisoft's then Vice President of Global Diversity, Inclusion, and Accessibility, Arashi Sika, discussed this project back in September 2022 in an interview on Ubisoft's website. Sika is now the company's Chief Diversity, Inclusion, Accessibility, and Social Impact Officer. When asked about what the key priorities of her team is over the next few months, Sika replied, we have several exciting key projects that are about to launch. This first is our first ever global self-identification program, where we will invite team members to share additional information voluntarily and confidentially about their identity, such as their gender identity, race, ethnicity, or disability. This information will help us to understand the experience of each person from a much more inclusive lens and allow us to take actions that truly support our colleagues. Oh my God. That's a word I'm tired of, lens. Now let's look at it through this lens. Anyway, she continued, we now have room for growth when it comes to the representation of racial, ethnic, and cultural diversity, both within Ubisoft and the gaming industry at large. With this in mind, we created a multi-year strategy called Project Rise to ensure that Ubisoft better reflects the diversity of our players with a focus on racial, ethnic, and cultural diversity. Over the course of the next 5 years, we will focus on 3 key areas: talent acquisition, internal talent development, and external talent pipeline development. I guarantee you, Ubisoft, if you looked at the main people who played your games, the predominant number of them are going to be straight dudes, with most of them being white. And Asian, of course, because the Asian's big on video games. But that's going to be your primary demographics there. And if that's the case, and you want to reflect that in your teams, well, your team should be a bunch of white and Asian dudes with a smattering of other people in there, of course. But I guarantee you that's your main fan base. I've seen what your teams look like. Like I said, it's a bunch of 30-something-year-old women, Some of them with blue hair, all of them smelling like cat pee. It's absolutely gross, and it's comical that you think that women are going to know what men like in entertainment. Women can create things. I'm not going to lie about that. I mean, for God's sake, they can create life. Okay, guys can't do that. We can try all we want. We will never be able to create life. But women can paint, women can sing, women can write songs. We see all that all the time. Artistic and all that. That's wonderful, beautiful, perfect. But women don't see things the way men do, and they don't understand just how simple we are and how easy it is to entertain us, right? They don't understand that. They want to overthink it. They want to add all this other crap in, this stuff that we don't need. And you want a video game? Give me a badass character. Give me a cool story. Give me some great action, big guns, and turn me loose. Let me have fun. Make it fun. I don't care if there's not a percentage of black people in it, or gay people, or women, or anything like that. None of that bothers me. I don't need to romance 5 different characters with the ability to have same-sex relationships if I want to. I don't need any of that. I don't need a character creator that's going to let me choose the size of my penis. Okay? I don't need these things. It's absolutely ridiculous. Just give me a good, solid game and let me have fun with it, man. Seeker continued, we know that different people experience life and the workplace differently. There are different opportunities and barriers that we all face. In the workplace, addressing barriers requires us to be specific, targeted, and focused in our actions. At Ubisoft, we will be focusing on 4 key dimensions: gender equality, race, ethnicity, LGBT inclusion, and disability inclusion. I would be remiss if I didn't speak about our games, right? Over the past months, we've been working on the recently created Inclusive Games and Content team to build a roadmap focused on ensuring diversity and inclusion is at the heart of all of our games. Thanks to our stellar accessibility team, we're also continuing to work hard to make our games more accessible. Right now, the team is focused on bringing an accessibility by design approach that embeds accessibility in our games from the earliest stages of development and ensures that more players can get the full experience of our universe, as she concluded. Now, I can fully get behind accessibility for people. I understand there's people with they're colorblind, so I see those options with the high contrast and all that. People that maybe can't hear too well, so they're going to close captioning for them. Just different things, right, that are available for people that have some sort of disability that makes gaming tough for them. And I'm all for that, man. Put those accessibility options in there. That's great. And why not put the LGBT accessibility options in there as well? That way, if somebody wants them, they can say, you know what? Yeah, I want gay characters in my game. I want this. You can even have a sliding bar, from, normal representation at like a fraction of a percentage all the way up to, 100%, where, hey, it's all gay all the time. You can do that kind of stuff. Kind of, people would have it. But then, everybody else wouldn't have to deal with it, right? Make an accessibility option. Why not? But yeah. In fact, the same interview, Sika revealed that this program had increased the percentage of female employees from 22 to 25%, she said. Gender equality has been a priority at Ubisoft for a while now, both in terms of increasing the representation of women in the organization and supporting the development of women across different levels of leadership. Thanks to the great work of our talent acquisitions team and the investment in our HR leadership, women now represent 25% of our team members, up from 22% in 2020. She added a third of all hires over the last year were women. Additionally, we have 42% of women on our executive committee and 45% of women on our board at Ubisoft. Interestingly, since Project Rise was seemingly rolled out at Ubisoft, the company's stock has cratered. In the last 5 years, it has dropped nearly 85%. In the past year, the company's stock has dropped nearly 60%. Yeah, these are the numbers, man. Look at this. 2021, it's been downhill ever since. And we're sitting at 1169 when this was taken, which I imagine was just a few days ago. Probably just a few days ago. This is not at all shocking, given a Wall Street Journal report at the end of June revealed that woke policies do not lead to growth, and that a study by McKinsey conducted back in 2015 touted the benefits of woke business policies has not been replicated, and the firm's methods to determine its results are being questioned. James McIntosh wrote, academics have tried to repeat McKinsey's findings and failed, concluding that there is in fact no link between profitability and executive diversity, and the methodology of McKinsey's earlier studies, which helped create the widespread belief that diversity is good for profits, is being questioned. He added, academics can't replicate McKinsey's study precisely because it keeps secret the names of the companies it used. But a paper published this year's finds that McKinsey's methodology doesn't show benefits from diversity for S&P 500 companies for a range of profitability metrics. It isn't that a lack of diversity is good for profits either. There's just no link. Yeah, so that's that. What do you guys think of this program here? I mean, this sounds illegal to me. It definitely sounds like it's just something that's not legal, that you can't do this and get away with it, right? Imagine if I had a company and I said, we're going to focus on just hiring dudes. The world would lose their minds. We'd have Congress up our butts investigating. We'd be sued into oblivion. Just dudes, blah, blah, blah. No, we don't want non-binary. We don't want women. All right, we'll give, maybe 10% women, maybe 5%, whatever. Now, I'm sure there's no correlation between them, raising the number of women that work for them and their stock tanking, but maybe there is, Maybe that's why their games have been getting worse and worse, because you have this, we're looking at games through let me use one of their words, a feminine lens instead of just a gamer's lens, and they're making things different, and they're making games, just softer, hold your hand a lot more. Ubisoft tends to hold your hand quite a bit. Women are very nurturing, right? They want to teach you things and all that, and they're very nurturing and all that, and I guess, the equivalent of an Assassin's Creed game modern times, that's been created by all these women, it holds your hand through it, You look at the screen at any time, and you'll see 15 side missions that you can go to, where the main mission is, the nearest vendor, the nearest treasure chest, the nearest this, the nearest that, blah, blah, blah. And it kind of takes away all the mystery and exploration of the game. So yeah, tell me what you guys think about this down below in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and to ring that bell for notifications. I hope you all have an excellent weekend. As always, I'm Cat the Beefy with the Gameville. I'll see you next time. Until then, peace.